I think you can all agree in the room that certainly everybody in this country deserves great access to healthcare. We do have a shortage of pharmacists in rural Illinois, and the College of Pharmacy is dedicated to helping close that gap in healthcare. There are certainly reasons why folks choose to practice rurally. Some folks may come from a rural community and want to go back and live in their hometowns or nearby. Sometimes there are financial incentives, like the state of Minnesota offers some loan forgiveness for folks that practice in rural communities. And some people take part in rural education programs like our farm program and our med program that Hannah spoke about earlier. Again, on the flip side, there are barriers to practicing in rural communities. Sometimes we are all often connected to a spouse or partner who also has an influence in that decision, and sometimes that changes things. There are certain things, less access to social or cultural opportunities, and some people feel isolated professionally, not being around other pharmacists or other healthcare workers as much, and or sometimes personally. So we at the college are committed to trying to improve those things, and there are two programs that we want our rerun: our farm program, which I'll talk about next, as well as a newer program we're calling our Fit, which has been funded by a recent grant we received from the McKesson Foundation. This next slide kind of has the outcomes of the R-Farm program, but defining our R-Farm program, it's a 4-year interprofessional curriculum with medicine and nursing as well. And the students learn the challenges and rewards of practicing in a rural community. And when they're going through that program, they have to, it culminates in doing rotations in rural areas, as well as a capstone project with a medical student. But on the bottom left of this slide, we've had 62 graduates through the program over the last 10, 11 years. And where do they practice? The map in the center, primarily they do practice in downstate Illinois and throughout Illinois, but also throughout the country. When you look at the types of areas they practice, the circles at the top, 75% do practice in what the Department of Health and Human Services defines as underserved areas. When you look at a really strict definition, which we are responsible to follow, particularly for our grant, of a rural population based on zip codes, 44% of our students through our graduates do practice in rural communities. That number is a little bit of an underestimation in that if a student were to move to Springfield or Urbana-Champaign, those zip codes are not rural, but they're certainly serving rural populations if they're working in hospital or community pharmacy there. So, but it is a number we need to track for reporting purposes. What are their first jobs like? Primarily in community pharmacy and hospital pharmacy, 62% in community and 15% in hospital pharmacy. The number that's not on this map or this slide is how many of them, oh my goodness, I'm really going slow, but most of them do practice near home, 60%. That leads into our RFIT program that was funded recently by the McKesson Foundation. It's a 3-year program we hope to extend. There's 3 aims in it. The main aim is for recruitment of students from rural Illinois. It includes hiring a recruiter and doing some of our camps and whatnot, taking those on the road to rural Illinois. We'll be doing one at U of I Springfield, Rynn Lake Community College, and Carl Sandburg this spring. The 2 other aims revolve around our current student funding for housing in rural communities when they go on clinicals. And then the 3rd aim includes access to pharmacists, to some of the resources. And so hopefully the takeaway point is this will bring us closer to improving healthcare needs in rural Illinois and serving the state of Illinois related to pharmacy practice. So thank you very much.